Lewis Hamilton edged Max Verstappen to P1 in qualifying yesterday. But before lights out for the first F1 sprint, there was the small matter of free practice 2, and the chance for teams to test out their car's performance on high fuel loads with one eye on Sunday's Grand Prix at a sun-scorched Silverstone. And a capacity crowd watched Verstappen claim top spot, the Red Bull driver edging out the Ferrari duo of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Although with all cars running different fuel loads, it's hard to know who will have the strongest competitive pace. But after 2 race weekends in which the Scuderia's race pace outshone their qualifying performance, the Scarlet cars could well be unexpected ones to watch. Esteban Ocon had an excellent session, finishing 4th. With a new chassis, he's been comfortable from the off. And despite not making Q3 yesterday, he will be buoyed by his practice time and have high hopes for the sprint. The primary purpose of FP2 was for the teams to test out tyre life, not only for the Grand Prix, but first and foremost for the sprint, with whichever compound they choose for today needing to last 17 laps. With Pirelli's data suggesting the soft compound won't go the distance, Sergio Perez's front right medium tyre was starting to look a little worse for wear as the Mexican pushed hard, ending up P5 in the timings. McLaren has a fight on their hands with a resurgent Ferrari. P6 and P7 for Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, separated by just 4 thousandths of a second. But it was a surprising start to Saturday for Mercedes. Speed King Hamilton could only muster 8th, and Valtteri Bottas 9th, the Finn briefly in a spin at Village, as Pierre Gasly in the Alpha Tauri rounded out the top 10. Despite the wind picking up today, George Russell excelled again, giving his sprint hopes a boost with an excellent P11, ahead of the leading Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi, whose first laps and race pace have been stellar this season, meaning he will be one to watch later today. Fernando Alonso in 13th led Nicholas Latifi, who complained after qualifying that he was losing over half a second on the straights. Yuki Tsunoda will be on the offensive in the sprint and could yet be a driver to gamble on the softs, and he may need that roll of the dice with only the 16th best FP2 time. Aston Martin are taking part in their first home Grand Prix weekend since 1959, and the team completed the most laps of anyone in FP2. Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll clocking up 65 laps, but suffering for pace. P17 and P18 at the flag. The Haas duo brought up the rear, but Mick Schumacher has it all to do, more than 1.5 seconds off the pace of teammate Nikita Mazepin.